Hello and welcome to this episode of Cosmic Crow Tarot, where today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favorite decks to work with around this time of season. It is October, it's almost Halloween, we're only a couple weeks away from that. And there's some decks, and I say some specifically, that's the key word here, some decks that just work so perfectly for this time of year. What I'm going to share in this video is by no way all of them. I actually still have one being delivered in the next couple of days that I'll be doing an unboxing video for that as soon as I get it, because well, who doesn't love Halloween? Like, this has always been my favorite holiday of all time. Honestly, if you know me, then you know I get so sad when it's time for summer to be over and the leaves start turning colors. You know, the colors that we have right here. But yeah, that doesn't take away from the fun and enjoyment that Halloween really is. So that's what I'm going to be doing in this video, sharing some of my favorite decks, some of my favorite illustrations in those decks. We're not going to take the time to go through them all completely, but I'm going to share a couple illustrations with you to kind of give you an idea of what's available out there. Again, this is by no way all of them, and if you are watching this and you're like, oh, she didn't count that one, then please, by all means, let me know in the comments, because I'm always adding to my collection. I'm always wanting more decks, and the spooky and creepy and just magnificent like Halloween related ones, yeah, those are the ones that really caught me. So let's get to it right now, shall we? The first one I'd like to share with you is the Halloween Tarot by Kipling West, and it's put out by US Games, and this is the version that's in the little 10, and I think this is absolutely fantastic to have, because the thing about the 10 is the 10 is very much like indestructible. It keeps the cards very safe in there, and you know, you can drop this in your bag, you can drop it in your purse, and if you're out and you start getting on that subject of, hey, I'm a tarot reader, oh well, that's really cool, I'd always love a reading, then you can get this deck right out. You know, the cards are already there, they're the perfect size. I think there's another version out there of this deck, it's a little bit bigger, but a lot of times when I do my readings and stuff, people are always like, oh, these cards are so big. No, these are playing card size. They're absolutely fantastic. You can see the illustrations there on the back of the little cat, and you know, you can turn it upside down. You're not going to tell if it's upright or reversed. So it's a very awesome deck for readings. The illustrations are absolutely gorgeous. There's just some of the illustrations, but I've went ahead and I've taken the time to go through it and find a couple of my favorites, and I've set them there on the front. So I've got them right here. If I don't drop all the cards, yeah, okay. So I'm going to set these up like this so you can see them, and I'm going to set these out so we can really look at them. Like the Seven of Ghosts, it looks really fun. They are, like I said, a little bit different than regular decks because we have ghosts here and not cups. The ghosts are the cups, and you can see all the choices there, and they're looking at them. So very much based on the Rider-Waite-Smith. That's really cool. It makes it really easy to read with. We have Death right here. You know, I've got a little shadows going on my table, a little reflection, just to try to get the lighting right. It'd be cool if I did it at night, but I didn't, so we're getting it right here as it is. And you can see Death there, kind of similar to that of the Rider-Waite, because you've got like Death standing there, but everybody looks happy in this. They're not begging for their lives. So this is a fun version of Death. You have like the symbol right there of the Ankh, so it connects back to like Egyptian times and everything, and the vulture and everything. So it does have the energy of Death, but you know, Death is a very empowering card. It's about rebirth and beginnings, because every time something ends, something else, a new door opens, and there's possibilities. So awesome little illustration there. Another dark card that nobody likes, but holy crap, this illustration is just, I love this illustration. The spooky house, this haunted house, the cat right here. Cool little thing about this deck is that cat will show up in every single illustration. So you have it right there. The Three of Imps or the Three of Wands, you've got him down there. But this illustration, you can see the ghost being cut off with the lightning strike going in, falling down. So it's very reminiscent of the Tower of the Rider-Waite-Smith, but just more fun and whimsical, and it's such a perfect deck for this time of year. Any decks that you see in this video, I'll definitely leave the links in the description below of somewhere you can purchase it. You know, the links I give you, it's just one of many places that sell it. By all means, don't order the decks from Temu or Wish or something like that. Those are always going to be counterfeit because they're so cheap. I mean, we all love a good deal, but when they're counterfeit like that and they're like $4 or $5, just best to avoid it and get a real deck. And like I said, I'll share this in this link in the description below where you can purchase this. Got the Three of Wands or the Three of Imps right here, and you can see this guy's kind of being inspired by these two guys because they have their wands. And that was one of my favorite meanings of the Three of Wands when I was learning. When you let your inner fire lead your way, when you follow that passion, you inspire others to do the same. So that's what I feel like this illustration's all about. And even the cat is being inspired by like these people. And this guy, he's like, I'm growing, I'm ready to follow my passion. And he's kind of getting the inspiration from these two dudes. So we've got that illustration there, reminiscent of the Rider-Waite-Smith a little bit, but more so a little bit different, a different way of looking at it. Nine of Pumpkins, or the Nine of Pentacles, was another one I really liked. It's very reminiscent again of the Rider-Waite-Smith. You can see the successful woman, and she has her owl, so we know she's really wise, and that's how she's made her money and everything, and she's really successful. And there's that black cat again, you know, he's appreciating, or she's appreciating, excuse me, the wealth and the success of this woman as well. So really cool illustration, very reminiscent of the Rider-Waite-Smith. So, you know, if you got this deck and you want to like show off, like, hey, I have a Halloween deck, and you want to share it with your friends or even a stranger, you know, because you got on that subject, this deck's going to be really easy to connect with, really a lot to trust like with your intuition and to really go off of. So really cool illustration there. Then I have the Six of Bats, which bats correspond to the sword suit, so this is the Six of Swords. Very reminiscent of the Rider-Waite-Smith again. You know, you had the pumpkin there driving the boat, taking the people to the front, and there's that cat again. So it's a fun deck. It really, really is. And the illustrations are gorgeous. Like I said, it's very easy to shuffle. You can see there, it's very much like playing card size. And this 10 is incredible because you can take it anywhere and you don't have to worry about it. So if you wrap it in a silk, you know, or a bandana like I do, then you have the safety of that too, so the box doesn't get scratched. But it's an awesome deck, and it stays really well in there if you want to purchase it for yourself. Little look at the guidebook right here. It's a little white book, and it's got little meanings of everything in there, you know, to kind of get your intuition flowing if you get a little block in that. So that's cool when it always gives you a little information there. So that's a look at the Halloween Tarot by Kipling West and US Games Incorporated. Again, I will leave a link in the description below where you can check this deck out for yourself. Up next, one of my personal favorite decks of all time. This isn't just Halloween. This is every single week, every single day. I love, love, love the illustrations in this deck. And to be completely honest with you, I'm not even that big a fan of zombies. But this deck is so cool. I fell in love with it the second I saw it. So this is the Zombie Tarot. And when we think of Halloween and we think of spooky things, zombies often come up for that. So very cool deck to have this time of year. If it is still available online, which I feel like it is, then I'll definitely leave the link in the description below for that. You can see here the guidebook, and it's very illustrated and has little information about each and every card in there. So, you know, again, if you're getting a little block in your intuition, you know, you can just check on this, and it gives you information in there as well. And I always like to share like the guidebooks and stuff when I do my readings, because I feel it shares extra information that you might not have had before, something that the artist wanted you to know that you might not have come up with on your own. Because at the end of the day, this is an artist's mind, the way that they thought, or the things that they thought like the cards represented. And that's always an important thing to see. I don't necessarily share the guidebooks when I do live readings, but like written ones and everything, I always want to share the guidebook, because I feel like if you're reading my opinion about something and you're reading my intuition and like the words that I say, it's just as important to read who created the deck as well. So that's the illustrations you see there. Very fun, very whimsical. There's so many cards in this deck that I love like more than the others, but I'm gonna try to get them right there. I think that's it. Okay, these are the ones that I like the best, like the ones that just really speak to me. And I have this deck on my phone as well. It's one of those decks that you can get. Judgment wants to keep popping up there. One of the decks that you can get for your phone, like, and you can, it's not just to do readings and stuff on your phone at any time, which they work for that too, but it's a lot of times it's to like make the backgrounds of your phone. And this illustration right here, the moon, hands down my favorite illustration of the moon ever. You can see the woman asleep there, all the ancestor spirits, guides, the ones that have passed on, they're there below her. And the key of this card, the key that I like the best about it, is that crow carrying the key in front of the moon, kind of saying that wisdom from the other side, that being able to, like, you know, trust yourself, trust your thoughts and your dreams and stuff like that, like the things that go through your head when you sleep, you know, trust them. And those are the key to finding success. Spending that time really to pay attention to your dreams. The moon can often represent a crisis of faith, and really taking that time to trust yourself, your intuition. You know, the 18 up there relates to the Hermit of the Major Arcana because it reduces to 9. It shows that trusting your intuition and spending that time in solitude to really learn the keys to yourself and the secrets of your soul. So I love that illustration. I've had that on my background like 1,000 times on my phone because it's just such a fun illustration. And You know, it's not necessarily zombies down here. Like, they might be zombies, but they look like ghosts and spirits from the other side. So it's really cool. Next illustration, I do have a fascination with the Three of Wands, which we showed that deck, the previous deck with the Halloween Tarot. I showed that one too. But this is a different illustration of the Three of Wands. See the zombies coming in there, and these people, they don't care. They don't care that the zombies are coming after them. They feel safe and comfortable in their own skin. They're having fun. They're enjoying themselves. And that's kind of like another energy of the Three of Wands. Not caring what anybody thinks, following your own passion and doing your own thing. And when you do that, you inspire others to do the same. So maybe the way this scene plays out, these people get in, these zombies get in, and they see them and they decide, oh, well, maybe I don't want to be a zombie anymore, and I want to have fun and do something I really enjoy doing like they are. So really cool illustration there. I do seem to have an affiliation with like certain cards here. I don't remember the next couple decks I'm going to share, but you know, here's the Six of Swords again, just like I shared in the Halloween Tarot, and it's very much similar to that of the Rider-Waite-Smith too. And you can see the characters here, they're all happy and stuff. They're shooting the zombies that are trying to climb into their boat. They just look like they're enjoying themselves, and they're leaving that stress behind and finding a time of peace and harmony despite the stuff that's going on around them. You've got the full moon in the background, you've got the water, and they're just kind of moving away from all the negativity. And again, beautiful illustration, very fun, very perfect for this time of year. So that's the Six of Swords in this deck. Then I have the Knight of Hazards, which corresponds to the Knight of Pentacles in this deck. And you can see the character right there. He's crashed into the telephone pole. There's going to be a lot of work that has to go into that. You know, all the boring routine and stuff to like fix that and to pay for the responsibilities and stuff like that. So there is a little energy of the Knight of Pentacles there. But it's just very fun and whimsical and weird. And when it comes to decks and stuff, fun, whimsical, and weird, that's what I'm all about. So really cool illustrations there. I had a few more, but I might have lost them, but well, not lost them completely, just didn't pick them up. But there's the tower, and you can see it there with the lightning hitting, and the people still having fun despite the fact that the zombies are coming in. There's the Seven of Wands to fight, defending themselves from like the zombies coming, really trusting themselves and their passions. Such a fun illustration of the Queen of Cups right here. She's eating a brain, you know, she's beautiful. She's a zombie though, and it kind of shows, you know, heart and body, or heart and mind really go together because she's taking a bite out of that brain. So she's doing what she loves. The High Priestess in this deck is a really, really beautiful card. You can see there she's sitting on top of the skull. No one's around her. She's trusting her intuition. She's learning from the past. She's got like the feathers on her head, the headdress and everything. You know, she's an important person, and she's trusting her intuition is keeping her safe from the zombies. Five of Cups, cool illustration here, very beautiful. You know, they're stuck in the graveyard. They're very focused on what's been lost, and you can see the zombies back here threatening them. We don't see any cups necessarily. We see the zombies very much waiting for them though. So if they're able to look up, see what still remains, they might be able to get away. So those are the extra ones apparently that I wanted to show you. And there's the back of the cards. You can see it there. Not a deck that you can read necessarily reversal and just be a surprise, because when you turn them over, you can see now the head is upside down. So this is a more reading upright deck more than anything, but still cool deck nonetheless. You can see the little glare on there. It actually looks pretty cool. It's the coloring of it. But you can see very cool deck, you know, not just a Halloween deck. None of these decks necessarily had to just be used for Halloween and October, but they're really fun ones to have if you do parties and events or you just want to show off your spooky side. Next up, we have the Beauty of Horror deck by Alan Robert. Now, again, this deck really speaks its name. Absolutely, hands down. This is one of the most beautiful, beautiful decks I have in my collection. The illustrations are like none else. But it's horror, it's gory, and you can even see down here on the bottom, it says gorgeous, and it's spelled like that, because there's very much blood and gore in this deck, and it's incredible. Guidebook, really, very detailed and everything, but it's not put together well. That's my only complaint about this deck. Like, as soon as you open it, the cards want to start, or the pages want to start coming out. And then when the pages start sticking out of there, then the book doesn't fit in the box anymore. So that's something that's really annoying about this deck. That's the only, seriously, the only complaint I have. Very, very gorgeous illustrations you can see there. They have the meanings and everything in it. You can see back there, you can buy the coloring books that he makes too. Like, this man is so incredibly talented when it comes to artistry and illustrations and stuff like that. And he's a musician too. Like, how cool is that? Like, this guy is so talented. So in the box, you can see here we have the illustrations. Again, like the Zombie Tarot, you're not going to be like, not surprise people with the reversals and stuff. You can very much see the card's going to be reversed when it comes up. We've got this girl right here. She's like the I can't think of mascot. We'll say mascot there of like this deck. And you can see there she's holding the card. She's like the high priestess of it. I'm going to take the box and I'm going to set it aside if I can actually take it and not take my leaves. You can see there, like, they're somewhat thin, but they're an awesome deck. You know, if you shuffle it carefully, it's going to last you forever. They have really good quality there. And I put all the cards that I like the most. Well, some of the cards I like the most. Again, this deck is so cool. Like, I like them all. So there's no, like, in particular cards that, like, I like more than others necessarily. Like, how cool is that illustration of the Ten of Cups with the clown and everything? Just a quick, like, flip through with the glare and everything on it of the different illustrations in here. Get through them as quickly as I can, and then I'll show you the 4 or 5 that I like the most. Let's set these up there like that. You can see here, like, this is the illustration of the Two of Swords. Very much gorier and creepier and morbid looking than like the Rider-Waite-Smith, but it kind of has that remnant of the Rider-Waite-Smith as well. Instead of holding the swords above her head, she has the swords as her hand. It looks like she's like fighting some inner demons and stuff. So it's very reminiscent of the Rider-Waite-Smith. Very much trust your intuition, look within to overcome the awesome waves, the heavy big waves of the ocean of emotion, you know, overcoming that. The Four of Wands, probably the most entertaining and fun deck card in this deck. You can see the skeleton there. He's dancing, he's having fun. And what I like about this illustration is a lot of times the Four of Wands is a card of celebrating a wedding or something else that more than one person is like really excited about and passionate about. But in this illustration, this guy is jumping for joy and dancing all on his own. So that gives a whole new meaning of this Four of Wands, where usually we see it as a strong foundation between more than one person. But here we see it as showing the strong foundation that this skeleton is all on his own, showing that heart, body, mind, and soul all focused on what lights their inner fire. So they're creating that external strong foundation for themselves. And that's what I always like to point out about any time like the Four of Wands comes up, or any four for that matter. When you're able to see yourself as a strong foundation than you are, then you're more easily capable of creating that external strong foundation that you want for yourself. And I feel like that's really this illustration. And it's just a fun and whimsical deck, and it's not quite as gory and crazy, or not crazy, but gory and morbid as the rest of the decks, because this one's kind of not either. But there's a lot of creepy things coming out through these cups. You can see here, very Seven of Cups illustration. You know, he's overwhelmed by all this because some of those cups might seem too good to be true, but they all fill him with joy. They all seem to have something that, you know, emotionally fulfills him. And then we have the Four of Pentacles here, and I love this illustration. The Four of Pentacles is usually not one of my favorite cards because, well, you're doing a reading for somebody and somebody pays you, and then you tell somebody, oh, well, the Four of Pentacles says hold your money. Then now you feel guilty because you took some of their money. But this illustration, the pumpkin here sitting on his swing, and he has all those pentacles around him, it's just so fun and whimsical on top of the creepy and dark. And you can see there he's away from his town, very much like the Rider-Waite-Smith, but he's not necessarily as blocked necessarily as we see in the Rider-Waite-Smith, where he's holding those pentacles right on his chakras. We do have one above his head which says he's focused on money, on either side of him on his shoulders and stuff that could relate to the throat chakra, saying he's only speaking about money. And down here on his solar plexus chakra, you know, that's all that fuels his inner fire. That all is all what like he wants to do and he wants to birth is money. So there is that illustration, like that energy of the Four of Pentacles usually, but again, such a cool, fun, dark, creepy, morbid, beautiful, gorgeous, as they say on the deck, illustration of the Four of Pentacles. Then we have the Empress of the Major Arcana. This is the girl that's like the mascot of the entire deck. You know, she shows up in this deck. She shows up in the coloring books and everything. She's just such a cool empress because we usually see the mother archetype and she's like a child. So it shows that no matter how young you are, no matter how old you are, you can birth your creations into reality. It might not be actual life, but it says if you really love what you do and you really want to create beauty in your life, there's that symbol for Venus in the background, then you can do it. Follow your heart. Know that you are the creator of your destiny, and just trust yourself and create the life that you truly want. And she's a reminder of that, and it's just a beautiful illustration, different than we usually see of the Empress. And last but certainly not least, the one I want to show you from this deck is the Hermit. Like, how cool is this illustration? How creepy and dark it is. It's very, like, gives you vibes of Leatherface from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, only he's got the mask of a rabbit. He's definitely seen some, like, bloody times. You see the hand back here, like, why did you stab me? Why did you kill me? So it's got major horror vibes there. but I love the fact that the rabbit head, very much a mask of a rabbit. It's not necessarily I took the face off of a rabbit and stuck it on my own. No, the blood from the people are like back here, but the animal was saved in that, and that's just kind of like, if it comes to horror movies and stuff where people are getting hurt, this is one thing you might not know about me. People getting hurt, that doesn't bother me as much as seeing an animal get hurt or seeing a movie about an animal getting hurt. Perfect example, Devil's Rejects by Rob Zombie is one of my favorite movies of all time. What is it? John Wick, the first movie. I bawled my eyes out when I saw that movie. I almost threw up. I couldn't stand it. My husband said, "Oh, this is how you know you watched a really good movie, when you're like rooting for the guy to get everybody." Okay, I can see that point, but no, I cannot do animals getting hurt. But people in movies, they're getting paid to do this. They don't really have that fear. They're acting. That's how I get through that. But still, nonetheless, very gory, very cool illustration. And this deck is a perfect one to have for this season. But again, it's like the other decks. It's not just for Halloween. You don't have to get this deck and then feel guilty. Oh, I only use it 1 month out of the year. No, this deck can show you the light. It can show you the power and the insight and intuition that you're seeking every single day of the year if the illustrations caught to you. And like I said, I'll leave a link in the description below where you can purchase this deck for yourself if you feel caught to it. Now, if you're looking for a Halloween deck and you're not really into like the Halloween theme or the spooky or gory ones like I showed you before, this might be the deck you're looking for. It's the Everyday Witch Tarot, and it features like different witches and stuff. And when we think of Halloween, I'm sorry, really sorry about that glare. I couldn't get the lighting right with all the shadows and stuff that came with the leaves. But this deck's created by Deborah Blake and illustrated by Elizabeth Alba, and it's a deck that just features witches. And when we think of Halloween and that kind of energy, we do think about witches very often. So it's an awesome deck to have for this time of year, for October and spooky season. But like I said, and the other decks as well, it doesn't necessarily have to just be for Halloween. This deck can be used every day and every year, because if you have that inner witch, we all have that inner power within us, that inner spirit, that inner witch. If you want to embrace it, this might be the deck for you. Now this is a really big box, and you can see here it's really, really well made. You open it up like that, like a book, and it has a very, very, very detailed and illustrated guidebook in here. It's one of the better ones I've seen, and it's really cool because it even gives you the notes so you can write your own stuff in there. So it's kind of reminiscent of a Book of Shadows or something, so you can get that energy in there, that, of your own thoughts. I guess not every page in here has that, but there's like notes there and stuff, so you could write your information there, how the cards represent you. So awesome guidebook to really connect with you. Like the other two that I've showed you so far, this one is like this as well, that you can't really see, or you can't tell, or you can tell that the cards are reversed when you're holding it, because of the illustration right here, because of the cat and the broom. And when you turn it over, you can very much tell that they're reversed. But illustrations in here are very gorgeous. They're very glossy cards, so the glare on them are really bad. I'm not here to show you all the illustrations in this deck. Then you would be here for an hour, and I know we all have lives to live and things to do, so I don't want to keep you here this long. But you can see the illustrations there, very much witches, very much doing the things they love, very reminiscent of the Rider-Waite Smith. Let's see if I can get to my favorites that I've chosen for this. There we go. I'm going to set these like I have back here, and you can see a little glare on it, but it's kind of cool how you it just puts that light in there. Okay, so we have the King of Pentacles right here, and I love this illustration because it's very, very reminiscent of the astrological correspondence. Oh, that's so annoying. I'm sorry about that. There we go. The illustration is very reminiscent of the astrological correspondence that is the King of Pentacles, and that is Taurus, because there is the bull right there. So very cool illustration, very reminiscent of the Rider-Waite Smith. He's successful. He has his cake. He's eating it too. That whole meaning right there. He's achieved his goals. He's found success. He's the masculine leader of the suit of material happiness and financial success, and he's worked hard to get to where he is, and he's enjoying the fruits of his labor. So we've got that illustration, which is a gorgeous illustration. The Eight of Cups is right here, leaving behind what no longer emotionally satisfies you, and she's doing just that. If I move my hand at all, it just messes up there. She's walking away from it, and no longer emotionally satisfies her, but she's got them all stacked up and put away. So it says like tying up any loose ends. Don't leave any loose ends. Stack everything nicely like you found it before you left it, and just shows like if someone doesn't, very reminiscent of the Rider-Waite Smith, if something no longer serves you, you have the power to walk away from it. She's got her cat there, the familiar of witches everywhere. Now Temperance in this deck. Temperance is the reason that I fell in love with this deck in the first place. I'm not that great at yoga, but I like to do it every day. I think it's really, really good for you. It just wakes you up. It makes you feel energized, and it just helps you connect with your body more. And of all the poses in yoga, this one is my favorite. This is the yogi tree pose. You stand on one leg, you kind of fold your other leg over, and you balance on that one leg. And like, she's just like me when I do my yoga. My cat is right there like, hey, look at me. I'm so much better at this than you. But I'm so glad that she's actually calmed down. My cat Dash, you might have like, I show her in the thumbnails and stuff sometimes, and you might have seen her like on my social medias and stuff like that. But she had this horrible problem ever since she was a kitten, to attack my ankles as soon as she saw them. So as I'm balancing like this on one leg, I've got a cat literally putting their claws into my ankle, which makes it difficult to keep that balance. But she's since gotten better, and she does stuff like this on my yoga mat when I do it. But you know, temperance, balancing of two things, and that's very much the illustration here. She's finding balance within, and we find balance within. We apply that knowledge from our past and feel comfortable and safe and controlling ourselves. We can start moving forward, applying that knowledge to the path forward. It's a cool illustration of temperance, probably my favorite illustration in this deck because it just reminds me of me. We have judgment here, and I think it's so fun and whimsical, and you can see the cat there playing with the butterfly, and it very speaks volumes there of forgiving your past and really move forward with the confidence you need to find the success and wealth of the world, to feel on top of the world. It's a very fun illustration. Again, shows the witch and shows her like straight pants and stuff like that. So very witchy, very fun vibes. Again, this doesn't necessarily have to be used for just Halloween. I use this deck all the time. It's very cool to embrace that inner witch. It's just a fun, whimsical deck. Again, leave it in the link in the description below where you can purchase this for yourself. It's a really cool deck. Even the Minor Arcana, very cool illustrations. There's the Nine of Swords. You know, she's lying awake. It's not necessarily night. It's like she stayed awake all night, and now it's morning, and she's still the overwhelming feeling of all the knowledge that she's accrued. There's all the books that can connect with that. You know, that's overwhelming her. That's making her fear the future or have anxiety, and that's what the Nine of Swords is all about. The inner demons keeping us awake at night, and that very much speaks in this illustration. Now, I don't actually, nope, there, I was like, I don't actually see the cat here, but we do see the cat. And the cat's actually trying to console her, which is really cool, because there's a bird in her window, the cardinal, saying like a new day has come. And the cat doesn't seem to care because it's very focused on the person. So this deck kind of reminds you like having a pet, especially a cat, because cats, honestly, they can clean themselves. They catch the mice and the insects and stuff like that you don't want in your house, the pests in your house. And again, they use the bathroom in a box. Like, there's so many reasons that a cat is an awesome pet, and this deck kind of reminds you of that. Like, they're there for you, they're your companion, but they're independent too, meaning that, you know, you can walk away from them and they're not going to be devastated or depressed or need you necessarily, because they're cool on their own. We have the Ace of Wands as well. And you see the shock and everything on her face because she's created magic in her life. She's taken action on those passionate ideas, and she's really run with them. There's her cat as well. You can see she's younger, and she's taking that knowledge and wisdom, and she's making magic with it. And that's kind of like the inspiration that is the Ace of Wands. Believing in yourself, taking that passion and letting it lead your way forward. So beautiful, beautiful illustrations on this deck as well. Again, it's not a great deck for reversals and stuff like that, because you flip them over, you'll very much know the reversals. The deck itself is a little bit flimsier like some of the other ones, but still, you're careful with them. You shuffle them easily. They're going to last for a long time. You know, let other people know you don't want anybody to hurt your deck, and let them know how much it matters to you, and tell them to be careful with it too. If you let someone else touch your deck, you know, just be careful with it. It'll be fine. It's a gorgeous deck. Again, like, not necessarily needed for this time of year, but definitely one I feel is perfect for this time of year. There's one last tarot deck that I'm going to show you in this video. Keyword there being tarot deck, because I have an oracle deck I'm going to show you as well that I feel like is a can't live without deck for this time of year. It's so awesome. But I'd like to share the deck that we all know and love that we're slightly disappointed about. If you watch my last, or one of my last previous videos, Insight Editions, you know, they're slightly disappointing. The illustrations that they do, I just said doo-doo on camera. The illustrations that they do share and they put time in are absolutely gorgeous. The guidebook itself is really well done and colored and illustrated, and you can have the information in there, because some of the illustrations of the Minor Arcana or the pips are just that. They're pips. They're not that fun. They're not that enjoyable. But you can see here, it's very much the Nightmare Before Christmas. And I don't know. I know there's so many people out there. This is a cult classic, a cult favorite. And if anybody, like, you know, if you love Nightmare Before Christmas, this deck is definitely worth it. The card stock itself is incredible. It's so well made. No problem at all doing the reversals, because it doesn't change at all when you turn it upside down. You can see the illustrations there, like the King of Candles. They changed the names in here, like the candles are the wands. You can see the 5 of Wands right there. The potions are the cups, and you can see there the 5 of Cups. He's looking away from it. So it does show that some of the minor arcana are done. You know, that one's illustrated, that one's illustrated. But then we get to cards like this, and it's like the 7 of Candles. One candle is taller than the other. Like, that doesn't have the I'm defending what I'm passionate about at all. But then I've got some of the cards like back here of the major arcana, like to show you how well the major arcana is. And I'll go through them really fast. Yeah, there we start with the Fool. I need to find the Fool. There we go. And we'll set these cards over here. And there you can see the major arcana. Very, very well done. See the different characters from the Nightmare Before Christmas. The Emperor, you know, the strong foundation, the authority that Jack fell in love with when he went through the forest of different holidays and stuff. You can see the Hierophant there is the mayor. The lovers are Jack and Sally. The Chariot is him taking control and being Santa Claus himself. He's got Zero up there leading the way because he's got like the glowing nose. Strength is one of the characters. Hermit is one of the characters. The Wheel of Fortune, just fun and cool as he spins. He takes a chance. Justice, beautifully done, beautiful illustration. The Hangman. Death, you can see there. Temperance, the Devil, the Tower, the Star, and you can see Zero there as the Star. The Moon is the illustration that we all probably know and love about the Nightmare Before Christmas. It's like the book or the movie box or something like that. The Sun sees him, like, shows Jack Skellington in Christmas Town and falling in love with everything he sees. You know, you look at this illustration long enough, you're going to start hearing that song of, what's this? What's this? You know, copyright, I can't share that in the video, but, you know, my little words right there shouldn't hurt. But you can see him there, like, being fascinated with it. And, you know, when you're inspired and you're, like, falling in love with something new, it does feel like a day in the sun because you're excited and enthusiastic and positive about it. See, Judgment there is Santa's list of who's good and bad. And then we've got the World, which shows all the different trees, all the different holidays, and all the different worlds that Jack Skellington can visit. So really cool deck. And I mean, I did say in one of my videos, like the Inside Edition, they could have done so much more with this. There's the Knight of Presents. I'm trying to, like, see if I can do this, like, find one, like, there, the 10 of Presents, everything under the tree. You know, it doesn't really spark your intuition as much. But if you're a fan of Halloween and you're a fan of Nightmare Before Christmas, then, you know, you're not going to find a cooler deck than this to celebrate that. So it has the major arcana that's absolutely gorgeous. But really cool deck. Again, I'll leave it in the link in the description below so you can purchase it for yourself if it costs to you. But these are just some of the ideas that I have for my favorite Halloween decks. Like I said, and while I'm making this video, I'm not going to go out and get it. I just watched the UPS guy put my package in the mailbox, so that definitely will be a video coming up. Who knows? I might actually do it sometime this week rather than wait till next Saturday because I'm so excited to get into this deck, and you're going to see that. But I'm not going to give away what it is because that would defeat the fun of it. So like and subscribe. Definitely subscribe so you can see all my videos. I never ask that in my videos, but, you know, much appreciated if you do. I really appreciate all of you. If you subscribe, you know, it'll show up Cosmic Crow Tarot shared a new video, and you're gonna see what that deck is. So this is a look at all my favorite Halloween deck or Halloween illustrated cards, kind of Halloween themed. And I'm gonna show you one more in this video. Again, it's not a tarot deck. Tarot is my first love and my favorite, but Oracle decks have a place in the world too. Now this is the Seasons of the Witch Samhain Oracle, created by whoever created it, because I cannot find the name right now. But the different illustrations there, you know, the back and the box is really nicely made. And like I said with the tarot decks, oh, there we go, illustrated by Giada Rose. I apologize if I pronounced your name wrongly and you're watching, or incorrectly and you're watching this. Not great with pronunciations. But like I said with the tarot decks, these are just some of my favorite decks and favorite illustrations for spooky season and Halloween. But this is by no way, shape, or form all of them. And if you're watching this and you made it this far, if you know of an Oracle deck that's really Halloween based or Halloween inspired, please let me know in the comments. I'm always wanting to add new Oracle decks and Tarot decks to my collection, and I'm never going to be done doing that. But this deck is so cool, and definitely one I highly recommend for having this time of year. With the Seasons of the Witch decks, they make all of them for all the pagan holidays. The book is very, very well done, because when it comes to Oracle decks, it's not like the structure of the tarot where you're like, oh, this is the Seven of Wands. Doesn't matter what the illustration is. I know what it means. I know that it's defending our passions and stuff like that. No, the Oracle decks are more free range. When you pull a card or you pull an illustration, see there, like the underworld, you have the little words down here on the bottom, but you don't necessarily have those automatically structured thoughts that you do necessarily with the tarot. So that's something that the guidebook's really important for. And the guidebooks for these decks, I've got 3 of the 8 I think there are now, but this one is the one I have for Halloween, or you know, Samhain and spooky season. And I have different illustrations here to show you. They're all beautifully done here. I'm sure there are unboxing videos of this deck on different channels. I didn't do one this time. I usually do with all of my decks, but this one, I got it today, like the day before I was going to use it for an event I'm doing. So I didn't actually do an unboxing video, but you can see the different illustrations there of how well they're done, how dark and mysterious they are. I did set a few here back in the back. So I'm going to set these down like this. Oh, and another awesome thing about this deck, and all the ones that come from the Seasons of the Witch section, you can see there the foilized sides. Like the Yule Tarot, or the Yule Seasons of the Witch Oracle, that one has like the green gilded edges right there. The Beltane one, I believe, has yellow. This one has red. So I plan on getting one for the summer. I believe that's Mabon. So I'll definitely be checking that one out and see what the colored edges of that are, because they're just so sparkly and fun. But there's Coming of Winter, very depressing card in my opinion, because winter's just cold and sad and depressing, but it's a great time to look within, really decide what we want to do when spring comes around again. So you have that illustration. You know, when we think of Halloween and we think of Samhain, we think of the ones that have passed on. We think of graveyards and haunting and stuff like that, because the veil between the living and dead, it's a lot thinner, and the closer it gets to Halloween, the closer it gets to Samhain, it's actually going to be at its thinnest. You might be able to connect with your ancestors, connect with your past loved ones, and it kind of just has that spooky, dark, creepy that we love this time of year. And this is such a fantastic, fantastic deck to have this time of year, because it kind of gives you ideas of what you can do and what you can be inspired by. There is the Black Cat, and you can see the 7 down there. You can connect it to the Chariot of the Major Arcana if you want to. Little words down here. There's a curious journey into the depths of the unknown, hidden so deep. That bothers me a little bit. I like to say deeply. That only the brave will gracefully return with light in their eyes and shadow leading home. So it does reminiscent of the Chariot. You can kind of use that for your intuition if the book, you don't want to use the guidebook. You know, I had the little ad for rock pull right there, but I turned that around. We have that illustration. We have rebirth, because like I said with death earlier, you know, with every ending comes a new beginning. So when you're able to leave the past behind, when you're able to let what needs to die die, you know, there's 31 on there that could be turned around to 13. 31 is the number of Halloween. So, you know, you're letting go of the fact summer's over. You're letting go of the fact that fall is in full swing, and you're letting what no longer serves you die so you can be reborn. So awesome illustration there. Very dark and mysterious and creepy. We have Cauldron as well. You know, it's fun. It's just shows like them working together. We have that 10 there, so it's reminiscent of their Wheel of Fortune. You know, they're taking a chance. They're spinning that cauldron, and they're like making something new. And then I have Haunted as well, because I think this type of illustrations just kind of shows the creepiness of this deck and the creepiness of this season. And that's what I really want to end on right now, is the Haunted. Like, you know, I hope these decks, like, honestly, I hope they haunt you and like go in your dreams and say, I have to have these decks, because they're so cool. Halloween is such a fantastic and spooky and mysterious time. And I think like embracing it, allowing ourselves to like dress up and just have fun and enjoy ourselves and connect with the other side when that veil is thin, and really know that we're not alone, that our ancestors are always with us. It's very much this time of year, and I feel like this Oracle deck definitely connects with that and tells us to embrace, you know, there's the light again, sorry about that. It tells us to embrace that spooky side of ourselves, embrace the darkness, embrace the death, so we can let it go and be reborn with the confidence we need to move forward. So that is a look at all my favorite, or some, I said all there, but I don't mean that in the least. It's some of my favorite decks for Halloween in this month of October. Yeah, again, none of these decks just need to be used for Halloween. They can very much be used for different times of years. Like every year, you know, there's the Seasons of the Witch, the Nightmare Before Christmas, the Everyday Witch Tarot, and just as it says in its name, you can be a witch every day. It doesn't just have to be for Halloween. We've got the Beauty of Horror, if I can pick it up. Beauty of Horror, it shows like the beauty of every day, the beauty of there is in horror when we're able to appreciate it. You know, the movies and stuff that scare us and make us want to scream, the haunted houses and stuff like that. It's a fun time of season. It's time to like let loose, to have fun, to release any doubt, and really trust yourself. Zombies, good for any time of year. My little stand is going to get too big for this. You can see the Zombie Tarot right there. Awesome deck, good for any time of year. And of course, the one I began with, the Halloween Tarot itself, and its awesome little tin. So as always, I want to thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it inspires you to get out those spooky, creepy decks that you have yourself and share them with the world, because we need a little bit more humor when it comes to darkness and death, and we need a little fun in our lives. And I think Halloween and spooky season and stuff, that's the perfect time to do it. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you again in the next one.